Hello, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, future educators. My name is Nina Maria Mendoza. I'm with Steve. And for today's video, we're gonna talk about Lasswell's model of communication. But first, before we start our adventure with Steve, we're gonna first talk about what is our agenda for today's video. Number 1, who is Harold Lasswell? Number 2, what is the Lasswell's mode of communication? Number 3, the advantages and disadvantages, and last but not the least, the examples and applications of Lasswell's mode of communication. First, we were gonna talk about who is Harold Dwight Lasswell. He was an American political scientist and communication theorist. He earned his bachelor's degree in philosophy and economics in his PhD from the University of Chicago. He was also an American sociologist and psychologist. Harold Lasswell is best known for his linear model of communication that he developed in 1948. Now that we know who is the creator, now we will gonna move forward the model itself. This will be tackled by my other group members. Welcome them.
So, let's go to tackle about the model communication versus who. These elements address the question of the sender or source of the communication. It delves into identity, motives, and attributes of the communicator. Understanding who is transmitting the message is crucial for interpreting its significance and potential impact. The second is says what. The focus here is on the message itself, the content, ideas, or emotions being conveyed. Analyzing the substance of the message provide insight into the intention and objectives of the communicator. And the third one, in which channel. This component pertains to the medium or method through which the communication is being transmitted, whether it's spoken words, written text, visual imagery, or another channel. The choice of the medium influences how the message is perceived and understood. And the fourth one is to whom. When we say to whom, the audience or receiver of the communication is central to this aspect. Understanding the characteristics, beliefs, and perspective of the intended recipients help gauge how the message might resonate and impact them. And lastly, with what effect? When we say with what effect, the final piece of the model examines the consequences of the communication. It considers how the message influences the attitudes, behaviors, opinions, or emotion of the recipients. Assessing the effect of communication completes the cycle, providing insight.
Here are the advantages of Lasswell model of communication. The first one is versatility. Lasswell model communication is appreciated for its versatility because it can be applied for various communication scenarios regardless of factors like context, message content, sender and receiver relationship, or communication medium. It provides a broad framework that can be adapted to analyze and understand communication in diverse situations. The second one is simplicity. Laswell's communication model is appreciated for its simplicity, offering a straightforward understanding with its five basic components. This simplicity makes talks accessible and easy to understand, attracting those who prefer a clear and uncomplicated framework for analyzing communication.
Now let us discuss the disadvantage of Lasswell's model of communication. We have feedback and noise. As we can see on the graph, there is no feedback and noise in the Lasswell model of communication. Here's why. Lasswell's model of communication is a linear model and does not see communication in a two-way communication. It does not consider the noise or feedback, which make it especially beneficial for mass media but less useful for interpersonal communication where noise and feedback are natural components of conversation. In general, noise may be psychological like hunger or fatigue, physical like interference, static, a passing train, psychological like preoccupation and inattentiveness, and semantic, where words or concepts are not mutually understood because of age, culture, experience, or some other factors. So, the noise is not all about what we heard. Sometimes, it can be our behavior or mental situation that can be disadvantage of one communication.
Okay, so let's now move on to the examples and application of Lasswell's model of communication. So, the linear model manifests itself in diverse formats that solely facilitate one-way communication. A few prevalent examples of such formats include print media, radio, and television. So this basically means that the Laswell's model of communication is a one-way communication where it is often used in print media, radio, and television. So I have two examples for you to better understand the Laswell's model of communication. So if you're going to look at the slide, there is who, which is the communicator, and then says what, which is the message, and then which channel, which is the medium, and to whom, which is the receiver, and lastly, with what effect. So, first example is who or the communicator. So, the communicator in this example is the Fox News anchor, and then says what. So, the communicator says what. The communicator criticized the Democratic Party's perspective on social issue. And then, in which channel? So, what is the medium used to transmit the message? On television. And then, to whom or who is the receiver of the message? So, the receiver of the message here is the entire nation of viewers. And with what effect? So, the effect is to promote conservative political propaganda.
So next is application. And for the application, we have the application to mass communication. While Lasswell's model can apply to various forms of communication, it gained particular prominence in the study of mass communication and political communication due to its relevance to media and public discourse. Lasswell's model of mass communication, one of the earliest communication models available, was built as an analytical tool for researching and analyzing mass communication and propaganda. The communication theorists believe that mass communication happens for three reasons. First is the surveillance of the environment. News outlets observing and reporting on events happening in the world. The second one is the correlation of components of society, the ways in which new outlets select and interpret the news. The third one is the transmission of culture between generations, what viewers take away from the way the news is reported. In short, Lasswell believed that the media, in the way it reported the news, had the ability to impact what its viewers believe about the stories. Using his model of mass communication, it would be simpler to identify who was distributing the message, what they were saying, and to whom, and what the impact of the message might be. That leads us to the 5 components of the model.
Hello again, everyone. Looks like our adventure with Steve is over. I hope you learned something from this video. Again, this is Group 3, and see you again next time. Bye!